Hola, 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 guys. It's me. And for those who saw my last video, you guys know that I am engaged. Very, very happy, excited, nervous, overwhelmed, terrified. A bunch of emotions are traveling through this body and brain right now. So I just wanted to give, I guess, just pretty much tell you guys what happened and all of that stuff, and then I will just put at the end of this video the original clip, which was the original night that he had proposed. So before anything, if you hear any type of screaming or noise or running around, that is my 2.5-year-old niece who is running amok in my house right now, just in case you hear anything in the background. Okay, so I met Brian, wow, I'd say 2 years ago, two and change. We both go to the same church. Actually, he was there way before I was. And it's funny because we never even spoke. Our church is, it's a lot of people in our church. I'm in a rather large church, a lot of members, a lot of people you just go by, hi and bye. You don't get to greet. And he was one of those people where it was pretty much just hi and bye basis. Never got to know him or anything like that. And at the time, I also was in another relationship, and this was a super duper long distance relationship. We're talking about someone who lived in Colombia. Yes, I know I have problems. So to make a long story short, obviously the long distance relationship didn't work out. I asked for a break because there were things that I simply just didn't like about the relationship. And while I was on that break, he, by coincidence, started talking to me. He knew nothing about me being in a relationship or anything like that. It was totally innocent. To make a long story short, he asked me out. I agreed very reluctantly because I'm terrified of people. And we went out first date. He actually took a cab with me, or rather, he got a cab all the way into the city, into Manhattan. Just went out. I think it was Applebee's that we went to. Went walking around. We ended up going to Central Park and just looking in tourist stores, just wasting, or not really wasting time, but just spending a bunch of time together. And the rest is pretty much history. We haven't been together that long. I kind of don't want to say how long it's been. It's definitely been less than a year that we've been together. I'm even going to say less than 6 months that we've been together. But I guess that's love, and that's how love happens. So how did we get into the whole proposal thing? It's funny because we were actually talking about getting engaged. We were speaking about, how much we loved each other, how much we wanted to be together. And we were talking about getting engaged in 2017. And it's funny because I remember a conversation. Oops, sorry guys. I remember the conversation. And I remember saying, yeah, that's great. I would love that. And he told me, I say 2017, but, maybe even sooner than that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. It's like, it's like a couple of months until the end of the year. And I'm telling him, I'm like, well, I doubt that. But I mean, hey, great. But it was really furthest of my mind. So we were talking, or rather, I was talking so much about getting married, getting engaged, getting this, getting that, whatever. And he actually wanted to throw me off, which is what I learned later on. One night, which was the week before he proposed, we were hanging out with a married couple of ours, friends that we hang out with very much so. And I remember we were in the car and they were dropping me off at my house. And we were talking about when we're going to get engaged and all this stuff. And I'm like joking around, hey, it better be soon, this and that. I'm a good person. I'm a good girl you got here. Um, and it's funny because then that same night when I go upstairs, my friend, she messages me and she says, oh, Joanna, I can't tell you how upset I am at Brian because you won't believe what he said when you left. I asked him when you guys were getting engaged, and he said that he had to feel it in his heart to get engaged. He had to feel, to be enough in love to be engaged. And that fired me off. I mean, freaking fuego de Latina, like Latin fire just came out of me. I was so angry, and hurt obviously as well. I remember calling him that night and telling him how upset I was, and how I was saying, we were talking about this, talking about getting married and this and that, and now all of a sudden you feel like you need to feel it, you need to feel something to love me and all this stuff. I was so angry, and I was very sad. I'm a very sensitive person, very sentimental person, so I felt so hurt, and I'm like, those thoughts are going through your mind, like, is this worth, this relationship, does he really want to be with me? Am I wasting my time? I'm not sure if he wants to be with me, like I want to be with him and all this stuff. So yeah. So anyway, fast forward to a week, and it was a Sunday, and we were going to hang out. Rather, my friends told us, oh, let's hang out. Come to my house. My girlfriend says, you guys come to my house. We're going to cook dinner for you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So it's a Sunday. So, we're going to go after church, what have you. What happened was that Sunday they were running late. They were in traffic. They did not make it to service. So I'm not far away from my house. So what we decided to do, we were going to go home, or rather I was going to go to my home with Brian, and we were just going to wait for them. So I took advantage while I was home waiting for them. I ran, I took a quick shower, changed and everything, dressed in jeans and a top because I'm going to their house. So they come, they pick us up, and all of a sudden my friend says, oh my gosh, we should go to a restaurant, we should splurge a little bit, we work so hard, don't you think that we should splurge, Joe? Don't you think that, this will be good and this, and I'm just looking at Brian because I'm like, I don't know if Brian wants to spend that type of money. Brian is very old-fashioned. He does not, he has not let me pay for anything since we have been together. I can honestly say I have not paid for one thing. Just a side note. But I'm just looking at Brian like, are you sure you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, totally, no problem. Okay, fine. So we get in the car. We go to this fancy, it was really fancy to me, this fancy schmancy restaurant, some Loeb Boathouse, I believe it's called, in Central Park. And it's funny because we're driving by all the places we were first driving, or rather where we first passed by on our first date. Obviously this is not hitting me in that moment, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember this and I remember that for when we first went out and all this stuff. So we make it to this restaurant, and I'm just like, first of all, I feel horrible because I'm like totally dressed down. I'm not in like a t-shirt and jeans or anything, but I'm definitely a little more dressed down than everyone else. But they said, hey, it's okay, we're gonna go, and it was beautiful, the scenery. Our table was right by the water, and you see people boating and in little boats, and it was really so pretty. We were taking pictures and all this stuff. It was really great. I, on the other hand, was trying to like get like the cheapest thing on the menu, and I think like the cheapest thing was a salad, and it was like 20 bucks, and I'm like, I'm not gonna spend 20 bucks on a salad. But I ended up getting pasta and things like that. It was really nice. So by the end of the night, we were gonna order dessert. I wanted dessert. All of a sudden, no one wanted dessert suddenly, but Brian wanted to stick to his dessert. We wait for our dessert, and just pretty much to sum it all up, they brought my plate of dessert with will you marry me written in icing or caramel or whatever around the plate, and the ring was in the middle of the dessert in a strawberry. I swear to you, I didn't even see the ring. I was so shocked by the will you marry me. When you see the video, there's no words. I had no words. I seriously felt sick to my stomach, not in a bad way. I just was so, the emotion was just ridiculous what I was feeling right now. I could have sworn that it was fake. I could have sworn that it was just not real. Maybe they had the wrong table or something. It was just so, it was so unreal. Especially because I was so upset at him during that week. And after the fact is when they told me that they had all purposely did that so that I would get my mind off of the engagement and this and that. They didn't want me thinking about it. So I tell you this much, they definitely succeeded in that, because I was angry at that kid I was angry at that man all week long. But I'm so glad that that night turned out wonderful. And we ended going back to my house that night to tell my parents because my parents didn't know. That's how secretive this thing was, literally. But thank the Lord God Almighty that they were so happy. They hugged him, called him son, gave us blessings, and it was just such a great event. And then a couple weeks later after that, as you saw in the last video, the church, or rather our pastor, presented us before the church as an engaged couple. So yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm very happy, excited. I'm nervous. I'm afraid. You know, I've never been married. He's never been married. You know, we don't know anything about this. And I'm just thankful to God because, you know, you endure a lot of heartache during your time. And I've been engaged beforehand. And it didn't end very well. As a matter of fact, it ended very horribly. And it kind of traumatizes you, you know, and you just don't know what to expect from people, and you get afraid and all that. But I'm so thankful that I have the support of my family, and the support of my church is super duper important to me. And he's a good man, and I am thankful for him. And I look forward to our journey, and we're still getting to know each other now, and you know, so very happy about that. So we are planning, God willing, everything comes out well, we're planning to get married in June 2017. So wish us luck. So here's my little, I don't know, vlog, I guess you're gonna call it. My niece screaming outside. But yeah, so I just wanted to, I guess, share my joy with you guys, and that's it. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time, and hopefully I will start putting up my videos. I have my Walmart boxes that came in, both boxes, so gonna go into that. So thanks for watching, guys. Love you all. Adios.
Me mentira.
Yeah. Is this for real?
Me mentira.
Oh my god.
Ahí está.